boxes today. Number one is a review of yesterday's lesson, so you can just re-look at that video if you need to, if you get stuck on it, but please try it on your own, see what happens. Number two is the angle problem. If you don't have a protractor at home, just label asking you if it's obtuse, acute, right, or straight, and then give a good estimate. Use your benchmark. Remember, your benchmarks are 90 degrees and 180 degrees. So you can use that to help you. If you do have a protractor, just to remind you, we have two rays that meet together at a common endpoint, and that is called our vertex. The arc inside, that tells us what we're actually measuring. If the arc was on the outside, we'd have a much different measurement. And I always put a star on the line that I'm gonna measure up with a zero, so I don't forget to do that. So my zero on this protractor is over here. So I'm gonna make sure I have my big little hole on the protractor. I'm gonna have that on the vertex. I'm gonna make sure my zero is lined up with that star, and then I can look on my protractor and then I see what the final angle is. So if you wanna pause the video, if you have a protractor and you wanna try it, go ahead and do that. And if not, you can take your estimate or your guess, and hopefully you found out that this is an obtuse angle. Using our benchmark, we see it is over 90 degrees, and that's the definition of an obtuse angle. Big, fat, obese, obtuse, right? And my measurement should have had about 135, so hopefully you got close to that. Number three, I just want you to realize there should be two possible answers. A couple of people had asked a question. They weren't sure if they were supposed to be adding or subtracting, but it did say that he was putting them together, the two segments, so you do want to make sure you're adding. So once you've done that, keep in mind there's two correct answers. All right, and the last one, this is the hard one. And the reason it's hard is because it's all different conversions, which some of you immediately just go, I don't want to do it. But you can do it because you have a good growth mindset, right? We can do hard things all the time. All right, so let's start off with easy ones, build up our confidence. So what I did is I wrote down, what do we already know? We know things about conversions, right? We know 1 pound equals 16 ounces. We know 1 ton equals 2,000 pounds. We know 1 meter equals 100 centimeters, and we know 1 meter equals 1,000 millimeters. So usually when we're multiplying by tens, hundreds, thousands, it's quick, it's easy, it's mental math. So we're gonna start off with that. So we're going here, 6 meters, and we're going to centimeters. If I know that 1 meter equals 100, then what am I doing? I'm timesing by 100. So 6 times 1 is 6, add 2 zeros. I probably should have paused. Maybe pause the video if you want to try these on your own first. And now I'll get the answers. Okay. And 8,000 millimeters. So if I know there's 1,000 millimeters in each meter, now this time because I'm going from the smaller measurement to the larger measurement, I'm actually going to be dividing. So I'm going to take the 8,000 total, divide it by 1,000. It's still mental math, right? 8 divided by 1 is 8. And with division, the number of zeros over here are equal over there. They cancel each other out, so we're done. We got 8, we're good. Another easy one, 5 tons. Well, if we know 1 ton equals 2,000, really we're just saying 5 times 2,000. So 5 times 2 is 10, and with multiplication, we add on the extra zeros. Anything left over, okay? So this one's the harder one. We're going from ounces into pounds, which means we're dividing, again, because it's smaller into bigger. So this is a 2-digit division problem, which we haven't had a lot of practice with that yet. But it's not impossible. So about how many times? I started with the number 2, because I just, in my head, I know that 16 is 16 or 32. Maybe you take 16 away, 1 at a time. Whatever strategy works, use it, and that works fine. So I just know this in my head, so I'm going to start with that. And then look, I'm left with 32. So boom, I know I can do another 32. So I'm done. So my answer is 4 pounds. Now, this one's a little bit harder because it's a fraction of a pound. So I really got to put on my thinking cap. And usually when I think fraction, I make myself a little picture, especially if I get stuck on those types of questions. All right, so when I look at that and I say, okay, I'm only doing a quarter. So if this equals 1 pound, that equals 16 ounces. So if I took 16 and divided it into 4 equal groups, what would I get? 4. Ba-da-da-da, la-la-la-la. All right, I think that's it. If you have any further questions, just can't figure out a problem, even after all this, let me know and I will try to help you. All right, guys, have a good day.